Maybe that tip of the cap, Kyle, was I own Monday Night Football. Tomlin is 19-3 when he coaches a Monday Night Football game. Pittsburgh gets a huge road win on Monday night, keeping their mathematically slim playoff hopes alive. But it was important. It was important to see a lot of things that went down last night. Takeaways from the Steelers' win over the Colts on a Monday night, Peter.
Yeah, you know, we're in the Zach Wilson world here at Good Morning Football.
Okay.
It's in our backyard.
Yeah.
And you hear so much about, well, Zach Wilson's young and he hasn't had the experience yet and he's regressing and he doesn't know what's... Meanwhile, I'm watching on Monday Night Football. Kenny Pickett is growing up before our very eyes into what a starter should look like in the NFL, and he wasn't this when he first got on the field. Last night, they fall behind 17-16. Kenny Pickett takes his team, says, let's go on a drive. 2 big third-down conversions that were huge here. This is third long on their own 20. Pickett across the field to Pickens. This is a great combination already. They're both first-year guys. Then on another third down conversion, nails this one to get to the goal line. And then the story that we got from the offensive line afterwards in the locker room is that after a timeout because of the injury, he called this play to Benny Snell. He said he's the one who was like, let's get this play going. So we're watching someone grow up before our very eyes. You mentioned it. It's been 2 weeks since he's thrown a turnover. That was after the bye week. Hasn't thrown a turnover yet. Last week against Cincinnati, against a good Bengals team, he was putting up points. He was moving the ball. I think we're watching Kenny Pickett grow up before our very eyes. And this might be a lost season in Pittsburgh. It really might be. It might be, hey, this finishes with 6 wins or 7 wins, or maybe it just ends here and it's 4 wins, whatever it is. But this was the necessary lumps they needed. And now next year, Kenny Pickett's going to be a 25-year-old starter in the NFL. There are no doubts he's our guy.
He's showing us some stuff.
We've got our quarterback situation assembled. In New York right now, you've got a younger quarterback in Wilson who's got another year under his belt, and yet he's not quite figuring it out and he's regressing. I think this is a statement to the coaching, statement to the young man, and I come away from this thing, big win for the Steelers in that locker room, not a big win in the overall AFC playoff picture necessarily.
Yeah, I would agree with that, and definitely not a lost season because, to your point, when you have young players that are getting a chance to develop in some games, whether it's meaningful to the playoffs or not, like Mike Tomlin said, it's gained experience each time they're on the field. And you just mentioned Kenny Pickett and the George Pickens connection. My goodness, George Pickens looks good. Every time we see a chance for him to go out there on prime time, we watch him early on in the season versus the Browns make a ridiculous one-hand catch. And he just got started Monday night with another one deep down the sideline. As I'm watching this, I'm like, face on the defender, this is really good defense. Like, Pickens stretches out, catches the ball across the sideline. He hits the ball, and he still is able to hold on to it. But what stood out to me was he makes that huge catch, but then throughout the course of the game, he has 2 drops after the Colts score a touchdown that end the drive for the Pittsburgh Steelers. But he responds, and you showed that 3rd and 9 connection, Pickett to Pickens, and he makes a catch diving on the ground. Then he comes up with a 2-point conversion later on in that drive on the touchdown where he gets open to give Pickett a chance to find a window to make that throw. George Pickens is getting better, just like Kenny Pickett, each week out, and he's going to be a superstar. Each time he makes these miraculous catches, and it's so fun and entertaining to watch.
There's sometimes you'll see a young receiver on the back end of a bad team, like who just goes off. I'm thinking about Odell, Josh Gordon, and you're like, oh, these guys are great.
How about Darnay Scott?
Darnay Scott?
Bad Bengals teams, he would always show up with Jeff Blake.
Pickett looks really good, though. What do you got, Jamie?
I have to flip the table here and go the final 2 minutes of that game.
Yeah, go for it.
Man, 3 timeouts. Again, I don't mean to sound snarky, but like you can't take them with you, Jeff Saturday. And what I'm really curious about is the ball is kept in bounds here for the Colts. They have 4 opportunities, then a 2-minute option. The clock is running. And Jeff Saturday's defense of his lack of timeout calling, with 3 of them available to him, was that he felt like they had the right plays available and they just didn't get them done in time. Well, Coach, that's your job, to give them the opportunity to get back to the line of scrimmage, to literally stop the clock, a game that we like to play, and reset. Have a minute with your team, with your coordinators. Here's my question, though, and this is kind of a pessimistic way to look at it, but anyone screaming in Jeff Saturday's ear? Anyone telling him, Coach, call a timeout? What's happening? So one of 2 kind of not great looks is happening with the Colts in the final 2 minutes there. Either someone's barking in his ear to call timeout and he's so overwhelmed with the situation, not listening to have an awareness, to get input in a game management situation like that, or people are leaving him out to dry and they're not telling him to call timeout and it's just crickets and that's his own decision making.
Well, I'm going to interrupt. I mean, the owner doubled down so hard on it, and everyone was so happy after the first win. Is anyone even allowed to be critical of Jeff Saturday in the building? Or is it like,
because the boss says?
Yeah, I'm not messing with him. The owner picked him. The GM's not like.
Do they want to?
Do they want, or are they just like, all right? I mean,
But that's what makes me think so. It was crickets in his ear because they're just like, okay, if you're gonna do this, then you're gonna.
Well, I think what this is like this is catnip for anyone who is rooting against Jeff Saturday, which I'm definitely not. I still think the hire was ridiculous, but this is the moment you've been waiting for. And what's strange to me about it, James, is that in the middle of this and the clock's running and you have 3 and you're losing, when you see him on the sideline, like he's kind of just standing there. He's not saying anything. He's not coaching. I love the visual. He's not coaching. He's just kind of there.
Scratching his head, literally.
Meanwhile, Aikman, it's like, yeah, they're really burning a lot of clock here. And Buck's like, oh, I'm sure they'll call a timeout now. And Aikman's like, wow. A couple other things. I can't believe Matt Ryan didn't call a timeout, who feels like he's been playing 30 years. After he makes the long run, you would think, call a timeout, get involved. Also, I'm really disappointed there was not a Manning cast last night because obviously, Peyton and Jeff are very close, and Peyton's thing is always timeout. He's always screaming at the camera to call a timeout.
Yeah. Would he have screamed at him, or would he have said that a boy?
I think he probably would have screamed.
Yeah.
I think
natural reaction
for Peyton.
Yeah.
But we didn't get it, so it's irrelevant. Yeah. I think it's 2 teams that are not going anywhere right now. But this was the Jeff Saturday moment, and the excuse afterwards was kind of floundering. I find it very strange he's on the sideline not coaching or yelling or talking or gesticulating. He's just kind of there. So that leads me to Jamie's questions about what is the chain of command, who is in control, who's in the driver's seat. There should have been a timeout called for sure. They didn't lose the game because of it. They lose the game because they ran out of downs. But if you're watching the end of that game, and we're getting really deep in the weeds now, if they get the first down, they would have eventually run out of time or not been able to use Taylor because they didn't call timeout. So the game management just went the hell out the window, and I don't know who is in charge there. That's the thing. No one was at the wheel. Jason, what did you see?
To your point, when you say, like, even Matt Ryan called a timeout, a lot of times in those team meetings, the head coach says, I'm in charge of
I'm the captain now.
I will be. You'll see a quarterback call it as a play clock's running down, stuff's not comfortable. You call the timeout. In a 2-minute situation, players are on the field. They have to play. That is where you have the coaches on the sideline because the players, everything's moving fast to control everything going on. And when you say, like you just said, they ran out of downs, they didn't get to play. But when you see a sack, when you see a hand, and people are scrambling, a timeout just puts everybody
Can I push
ease.
back? So Stephon Diggs makes a big catch and immediately gets up and does this.
Yeah.
Is that not usually advisable?
How many times do you see guys do that?
Very rarely. But because does he have the power to do it in that situation?
We watch McVay sprinting down the sideline because as a coach, I don't have a helmet on. I am at ease, my mind, I have somebody talking to me upstairs. I'm looking at it like, all right, we're going right now. If we catch a pass down the middle, we have to get a timeout. So coach should always be 1 to 2 steps ahead. Soon as that pass is completed, it's a great job by Diggs, but he's running down the sideline, timeout. For Matt Ryan, you start calling timeouts. If Jeff Saturday's thinking something different, now you're conflicting, and he may want to save. So it's a little difficult. Diggs' play is so big, it's so obvious that, hey, we're calling a timeout the next play.
I hear that in any other game situation than in the sub 2-minute when your clock is going. I hear that if it's a third quarter and you're like, dude, what are you doing? I wanted to save that for X, Y, and Z. But I don't think anyone would have argued against Matt Ryan or Jonathan Taylor or anybody.
Yeah.
Not my job.
But to my point, then that feels very like you're on an island, coach.
No.
I would have loved to see the all 22 of that whole 2-minute drive. Just an intern, anybody going up. Coach, maybe a timeout. Like, just somebody have the guy's back.
Agreed. Yeah. Maybe Aikman. I don't know.
He was screaming from the broadcast.
I was trying. I think
Press box is like 20
down.
I know.
Hey, Jeff.
I know.